All right, if you're leading a business, be honest. How much of your day, your team's day, just gets eaten up by IT friction? You know what I'm talking about. Today, we're going to look at how to flip that script, how to turn that constant headache into a real strategic advantage. Let's dive in. So let's just start with this big question. What's the real cost of IT friction in your business? And I'm not just talking about the invoice for a new hard drive. I mean, think about the lost productivity when systems are slow, the frustration that just builds up in your team, all that time they waste just trying to get help. You know, that hidden cost, that's almost always the one that hurts the most. And yeah, that hidden cost, it really shows up in what I call the daily IT struggle. For so many small and medium-sized businesses, it just feels like you're in a constant battle, right? You're fighting the same annoying problems day in and day out. And I bet these problems sound, well, pretty familiar. You've got technical hardware or software that just decides to fail. You've got those super frustrating network outages that bring everything to a grinding halt. Oh, and the never-ending cycle of user account management, constantly battling cybersecurity threats, and of course, the slow response times when you actually need help. And now, with so many people working remotely, just getting them to support they need is a whole other level of challenge. Sound about right? Okay, but here's the good news. This is where we pivot. It absolutely does not have to be this way. See, this isn't about just getting faster at putting out fires. It's about a real strategic shift, getting out of that cycle of pain and moving towards something much better. Consistent, repeatable wins for your business. And this quote, it just nails it. The goal here isn't just fixing broken stuff. It's about building a streamlined process that actually makes your people more productive and, frankly, happier. Just shifting your mindset to that goal can change the entire game. And this slide just lays it out so clearly. Look at the difference. On one side, you've got that reactive firefighting. On the other, proactive monitoring that catches issues before they become a problem. You go from manual, repetitive tasks to smart automation. You stop guessing and start using real user feedback. And instead of slow resolutions, you empower your team to help themselves. That is the difference between IT being a cost center and becoming a real engine for your business. Okay, so how do we actually build this thing? Well, it all starts with a solid blueprint. Seriously, before you even start looking at software or new workflows, you've got to lay the foundation. Get this part right, and you're setting yourself up for success from the very beginning. And there are 3 things that are just non-negotiable here. First, you have to assess your needs. What are the unique IT challenges your company faces every day? Second, you got to allocate a realistic budget. And third, and listen, this one is so important, you need to set clear service level agreements, or SLAs. Think of these as your promises for support. They set expectations and they keep everybody on the same page. Now, just as important as knowing what to do is knowing what not to do. There are some common pitfalls here you really want to avoid. The big ones are not training your people properly on the new system, ignoring all that valuable feedback your users are giving you, it's gold, and forgetting to document your processes. If you can just sidestep those 3 things, you are way ahead of the game. All right, so the foundation is set. Now, let's get into the actual game plan. Here's a simple 5-step path you can follow to start getting some quick, real wins with your new help desk. Okay, step 1, choose the right software. You know, tools like Freshdesk, Zendesk, ServiceNow, they're popular for a reason. They integrate really well. Step 2, establish super clear roles. Everybody needs to know who owns what, from escalations to training. Then step 3 is huge. Develop a knowledge base. This is your self-service portal for common issues, and it's a game changer for empowering your users. Step 4, you've got to measure it. Implement metrics to track things like response times. And finally, step 5, conduct regular reviews. This is not a set it and forget it deal. It's a living system that you are constantly making better. And this is where all that tracking and measurement really pays off. Remember those SLAs we talked about? Well, are you actually meeting them? You can look at the patterns in your support tickets to spot those recurring issues, and then you can go solve them at the source. This is how you get out of that defensive firefighting mode for good. Okay,
Let's talk about the thing that really matters to business leaders, the numbers. How do you measure the strategic value here? Because it's not just a feeling of being more organized. It's about building a real, data-driven business case that proves the ROI.
For starters, just look at the market itself. It's growing by 8 to 10% a year. Now, why is that? It's because businesses everywhere are catching on at the efficiency you gain from a great help desk is a huge competitive advantage. This isn't some passing fad. It's a fundamental shift in how smart companies get things done. And what about the impact on your own team? Well, a really efficient help desk, they're usually aiming for a 90% customer satisfaction score. A 90%. Just think about that for a second. That's not just a fluffy number. It's a direct reflection of your team's happiness and how little friction they're facing. When your people aren't fighting their technology, they can actually focus on their real jobs. And that's how you drive results. And then there's compliance, which you just cannot ignore. A modern, well-documented help desk is absolutely essential for meeting all sorts of critical mandates. We're talking about data privacy rules like GDPR and CCPA, InfoSec standards like SOC 2, even service management frameworks like i.t.NOW. This isn't a nice-to-have anymore. It's a fundamental part of managing your business risk in today's world. So, look, if you only remember one thing from this entire explainer, make it this. A well-run help desk is not just tech support. It is a strategic asset. It helps you grow by making people more productive, it makes you more efficient through automation, and it protects your business by handling compliance. It's the whole package. So where do you go from here? What are the next steps? Here's a quick checklist to get you moving. First, assess your current needs. Second, choose a help desk solution that can scale with you. Third, train your staff, not just on the software, but on the right way to do things. And finally, and this is key, commit to constantly reviewing your metrics and always improving. And all of this really leaves us with one final question for you to think about. Right now, today, in your business, is your IT just a cost center, something that drains resources? Or is it a growth engine, something that's actively making you more efficient, more productive, and more competitive? The choice really is yours.